Welcome to the HADC update with Tom Hostad. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Well, good to be here, Sally.
I'm glad to have you back. It's been a few years since you've been here.
Right.
And let's just let our viewers know what your role is inside the HADC.
Sure. I'm the executive director. It's really a one-person office, but we have a board of directors consisting of 9 local employers as well as 3 advisory board members from the community at large.
What is the purpose of the HADC?
So generally, the purpose is economic development. The organization was chartered and created by the city in 1977. Its primary purpose then was to promote the retention and growth of existing businesses in Hartford, both industrial and commercial. Additionally, we were asked to promote the city such that we could attract more industrial, more commercial, and residential development in the community. So that's been our charter. Over the years, we have built 3 industrial parks in Hartford, the Dodge, which is the largest, the Western, and the Hartford Industrial Park. So we have almost 800 acres of industrial development in Hartford. And we're one of the economic hubs of Washington County. 7 of the 20 largest employers in Washington County, and that's by employee headcount, are located right here in Hartford.
And some of those businesses are, just for our viewers to refresh their memory, some of the businesses that are here in the industrial parks are?
Sure. We have businesses like Quad Graphics, Signacast, Brown. All of them employ over 800 each. Then the next tier down, we have businesses like Steelcraft, Helgeson, JD Laser, and a number of other Steelcraft, if I didn't mention them already. And we have logistics businesses like Lawfer Trucking and Zeller Transportation. Okay. So that gives our employers, especially those that are in manufacturing, a chance to easily move goods in and out of Hartford.
So being with the Hartford Area Development Corporation, correct?
Correct.
When businesses want to come here, they're attracted to having enough property to build. They're attracted to the possibility of bringing more employment in. What does the HADC do for that business to transition them into the community?
Sure. So in general, we have for many years owned the property in the industrial park. The city of Hartford holds it for us so that we don't have to pay property taxes on empty land. But so that's our big thing, and our selling price per acre is more than competitive. That's our major attraction point. Over the years, I think a lot of people have read about how communities might offer financial and other sorts of incentives to lure businesses here. Our biggest attraction point is the cost of land. Very affordable, extremely affordable for a business to locate here. And then we help introduce them into the community. We're a liaison with the City of Hartford staff, especially the engineering staff. If roads need to be built to support the new business coming in, getting utilities to that business, allowing them to work easily with city government, and then getting them and their employees assimilated into the community by working with the Chamber of Commerce and other organizations like that in the city.
Okay. And so your role, obviously, and the HADC role has changed over the years. And we just talked a little bit about getting people involved in the community that are going to be working at these new businesses. And part of that is the community development and the downtown revitalization, which has been very successful.
Right. So I've been in my role for about 8 years now. And when I first came in, the board of directors said it'd be a good idea to get out and talk to a lot of the key employers in Hartford and find out what the particular needs were. And so I did that for probably 6 months, was out making visits. And what I heard over and over again was workforce, workforce, workforce. We need people. But our employers were also concerned about the state of downtown Hartford If your viewers can think back to 8 years ago, I think we had a lot of empty storefronts downtown. Some of the buildings were in disrepair. The building that we used to know as the Mole Hole had an exterior wall that was failing. It was cordoned off. You couldn't use the sidewalk to walk by it because there was concerns about it collapsing and so on. So they were concerned about that. The other thing they expressed concern about was at the time we didn't have a hotel that was attractive to the business traveler. We had 2 hotels in town that were very attractive to leisure travelers, but the business traveler typically expects a few more amenities and so on. And so they were concerned, the employers were, that they said our guests are leaving Hartford. They're not staying here. They're going to West Bend or they're going to Menominee Falls to stay. So we sort of took that on as an action plan. We had a hotel study done, and through that we were able to attract Cobblestone. And with the Cobblestone Hotel came a nice higher-end restaurant, the Hostad Chop House, something we didn't have in Hartford at the time. And then we worked with an outside urban planning firm, Vanderwall and Associates, to help us understand the opportunities that existed in Hartford, especially downtown Hartford. During that time, I started talking to the director of the Chamber of Commerce, the director of the bid, and the city administrator, and just getting to know them, number one, but number two, wondering how we worked together. And I found that we didn't really work together. So I saw that as an opportunity, as did those folks. They said, gee, it's kind of always been like this, but I agree. They all said we should be working together. And so that started a collaboration that's been going on to this day. So the city, the bid, the chamber, and the HADC all worked together on the downtown revitalization project. And that was both hard work but a lot of fun. It was nice to see a vision that was created, realized through new businesses coming to town, people buying and investing in buildings. Danny and Wendy Dulac in particular invested in 2 buildings that most would consider eyesores downtown. So the former Mole Hole, which is historically was the Welsh building, and that's what it's named now, they saved that, as well as the Hilt Hotel on the corner of Sumner and Main Street. So some good things were done, some exciting things. And when people saw those kinds of things happening, they were attracted to downtown. Businesses wanted to come here, and events started to blossom downtown. And so I think I'm always amazed as people come now and look at downtown Hartford and they say, man, it's really busy downtown. It's very vibrant, a lot of people on the streets and so on.
And more housing near the Main Street area without having to get in your car and travel. This is a great opportunity for anybody living in a condominium or renting an apartment or being part of one of the older buildings where you are renting. You're right there. You're right on Main Street. You know, Bill and Ann Ohm have done a fabulous job in the Millstream building and opened, you know, recently the Root Ullman. And it's just a fantastic revitalization. And I think that having all of these organizations go, oh, we can work together, we can play nice. And it's not necessarily, no, this is my job, this is your job. Sharing, making it a collaboration, I think really has shown profit in the revitalization. All those organizations coming together.
Yeah, it sure has, Sally. None of those original folks who led those organizations, when I first talked to them 8 years ago, none of those people are still in those roles.
Correct.
But the people that have come in have seen the benefit of working together and are really enjoying the success that we've had through the collaboration.
Yes, and out of that came the It's Happening Here in Hartford campaign. And I think that really has been a niche, just that simple statement. It's all happening here in Hartford. And promoting that through all of the different videos on YouTube and promoting it through any type of media available, I think that really has helped.
I agree. One of the things we started to talk about, and this was when Scott Hankey was still the chamber executive director. My office was located in that same building, so Scott and I had a lot of opportunity to talk back and forth, and we both agreed that one of the things plaguing Hartford was lack of an image. We were often confused with Heartland.
Correct.
We're close. We're not the same communities by any stretch of the imagination. And most people, the only thing they knew about Hartford was that it was the home of the mine shaft. Wonderful restaurant, attracts a lot of people. They do a lot of advertising, and that's how people know Hartford. So we said we need to create a stronger image of Hartford, create more awareness of all the other things that we have to offer here in Hartford. What a great place this is to live and work and visit. As downtown has grown and the Highway 60 commercial strip has been developed, more people are coming here to visit and see what this is all about. And so that gave birth to the It's Happening Here campaign. We just thought we could leverage the excitement that had been created through all of that development.
And speaking of the Highway 60 corridor, having more people come in from other communities, whether it's Dodge County, Washington, Waukesha, even Ozaki, opening of a large chain grocery store is advantageous for people that are in our outlying communities looking for a different shopping location, and then as well as opening up that campus out there, if you will, to other businesses that are being attracted to our area and bringing in more and more traffic.
Right, exactly. Excuse me. When you have a large anchor business like Festival, other businesses like to locate nearby to leverage the traffic to that particular store. So we know that Festival has developed a 6-store mini mall that's on the east end of the development. We understand that stores will start to go in there after the first of the year. And we are hearing some things, I wish I could divulge more, but we're hearing some things about some tenants on the west end of that development, down west of Festival. That was 18 acres of property, and so there's lots of room for growth and development out there. So, as you said, that's bringing people to Hartford. We always like to try to consider the impact on existing businesses, and we hope that everybody can coexist peacefully, if you will, that nobody goes out of business as a result of a new business coming in. So we like to keep an eye on those kinds of things. But at the same time, we can't stand march in place. We can't stand still. We have to keep growing and looking for new opportunities.
Yes, change is important.
Yes.
And being alongside, with that, changing as far as our housing and hoping to get more affordable housing moving forward. And by that, I mean houses that my generation, you bought a house, it was your starter house, and that's
Right.
where you lived for maybe 10, 15 years. And then as things went on and you were working and saving, you could afford something maybe larger or more property. And that is certainly something that is lacking as all of the real estate market is being definitely snapped up. And I don't see that slowing down for quite some time. This
Right.
is something that the county board is taking a look at, and you're on that board.
Yes. So you're exactly right. There was an old saying, or is an old saying, in the real estate business, the 3 most important things are location, location, and location. And I think now in the 2020s, the 3 most important things are location, availability, and affordability. Yes. Location is still really important. People want to live in certain locations for whatever reason, might be close to work, close to a relative, whatever. But beyond that, then it's all about availability and affordability. And what we've learned is that Wisconsin, for the last many years, has not kept pace with demand for housing. There was a big shakeout during or right after the 2008 recession. A lot of home builders, unfortunately, didn't survive and didn't come back. And as a result, the home building pace has slowed quite a bit, to the point now where we've all heard stories in the last year about how hot the market is.
Right.
Homes maybe don't even make it on the MLS listing.
Right.
You hear about people who bought a home because they heard about it from
Yeah.
somebody else.
Right.
People are paying over asking price, et cetera, et cetera. The market has been real hot. It has cooled considerably now, especially with mortgage rates going up and so on. But we had a study, the HADC commissioned a study to look at the Hartford housing market, and unavoidably they couldn't help but look at the Washington County housing market as well. And what we learned is they looked at the three aspects of housing, rental, single-family homes, and new construction. They looked at the last 5 years of rental developments that have come into the marketplace. They call them apartment communities. There were 15 of them in the last 5 years. They're all full.
Correct.
There are no vacancies.
Correct.
Which makes it tough.
Yep.
Sales of existing homes, when our study was done, it was done in July. Sales of existing homes, there was a 17-day inventory. Typically, they like to have 90 to 120 days
Yes.
of inventory. So homes, some of them, like I said, weren't even hitting the market. Others were going right away. And then finally, new construction. New construction costs have gone way up for a number of reasons, but new construction in Washington County and in Hartford was $400,000 plus, and that really took it out of the affordability range for people who worked in Washington County and in Hartford. So it was sort of a triple whammy. The county executive realized the challenges associated with housing in Washington County and wanted to project an image that, we're open. You should come
Right.
here and you should consider living here.
Yep.
There just weren't that many options available for people. So he created a project called Next Generation Housing, and it's aimed at people who are looking for a starter home. You and I, when we bought our first starter home, it was probably relatively small. But as you said, we looked at it with an eye towards being in it for a few years, then moving up. That's how it's always been done in real estate. But there were no starter homes in Washington County. People weren't building them, for one thing, and sales of existing homes were so slow, or so fast rather, that there just wasn't an opportunity for people to jump in. So the idea behind Next Generation Housing is to build 1,000 homes that are in that availability and affordability category for especially the people who work here. This is viewed by our employers in Hartford as a big attraction and retention strategy. If they can get employees to live in the community, once people start living where they work, they're kind of anchored. They start a family if they haven't already done so. Their kids get into school. The parents get involved in school-related activities and so on, and that kind of creates an anchor. Now, employers have to do their part by helping their employees develop, getting them more training, preparing them for the challenges of the future. So we're working together with the employers to develop this Next Generation Housing. We are a pilot project in Hartford. We have 60 acres of land, the HADC does, that we were going to add to the Dodge Industrial Park. But after considerable discussion, we feel now that we can better serve the community and the needs of the community by making that available for residential development. So
Fantastic.
we're deep into that project. As I said, we're one of 3 pilot projects for the Next Gen Housing. It's still early,
Sure.
but we're enthused about the potential for the community, certainly.
If any of our viewers that are watching this would have questions, I know that there's a couple websites that they can go to. They can certainly go to the HADC website, and on there's information if they would like to email you or
Sure.
give
So
you a call.
you bet. So our website is hadc.org, and you can email me or call me. The office phone number is 262-673-7009. And if you want to email me, it would be thosted, like Tom Hostad, at hadc.org. Happy to communicate with anybody if they have any questions about the housing or anything else that we're doing.
Well, as that project rolls out, I'll look forward to continually doing an update with you
Good.
and see where we are, 6, 8, 9 months down the
Right.
road. I appreciate you taking the time to come in today, Tom.
My pleasure. Good
Yeah.
talking with you.
Thank you. And to our viewers, as always, thank you for watching.